So what's it going to be, and where are we heading with bicycles? Are we going to be all road, or are we going to be gravel bikes? I think it's time to make a decision. I love looking at all the videos, watching the YouTubes, seeing all the new marketing updates on the brands and the models. But one size fits all, or one design fits all, is not going to work in the long term. We've got some bikes that are really still road bike frame oriented, accepting larger wheels, which was 38s, but now, you know, we're looking at, I just saw a bike the other day that's now speccing tubeless 50s. So we're getting the really fat tires on the 700 rims, right? And even fatter tires on 650B. All road seems to be more, you know, a road bike that can take, maybe, you know, someone wants to ride the greenway a little bit, or possibly get off in the dirt. And then, of course, add in a lot of road miles in the ride. I've done those rides, you know, half road, 15 miles, maybe half gravel. And then from there, we head on home. Or do you want to head out for a day and really stay off road for a couple hours? You know, are we going to start infringing onto the actual mountain bike type terrain? Some manufacturers are cutting frames much more edgy, more mountain bike oriented. And, you know, there's some suspension components, some not, on different brands and models. So we got to make a decision. Is it going to be really an all-purpose bike? Or is gravel going to be leaning much more toward gravel and off-road? I think that's very interesting. I have one opinion on that. You can make a bike as gravel as you want it, and the only time it won't be acceptable for all-road is when you're riding with groups. I've had a couple of gravel bikes, I can take them out. If I'm riding on my own, just adventure riding, it doesn't matter how many miles of pavement road there is, as long as I'm alone, because there's no speed I have to keep up with. If I'm riding with a group, a bike always makes the difference because you're trying to keep up. So there's probably going to be some opportunities for some change in that regard. I like to lean a little bit more toward the edgy mountain bike. I'm big on single chainring. I just really seem to like that type of feel to a bike because of some of the, I'd say, more radical off-road I've been in around Boone, North Carolina here. I live in the mountains, northwest portion of North Carolina. And as part of that, some of the riding gets pretty, well, pretty, you know, to the far off-road side. And I'm wondering if we're not going to see some convergence where there's really going to be a gravel style bike with front and rear suspension that is so much more light and agile than the current mountain bikes. I have some opinions on that too. I think some of the new mountain bikes, they're good, but you have to design them for the individual who wants to jump a 10-foot cliff, versus many others of us who maybe just like to stay on the ground and ride casually. So there's different levels of resilience you have to build in some bikes over others. But what if we get to the point, and by the way, I've read stories where there's some really old tried and true major mountain bike races, someone shows up on a gravel bike and wins. So I think we'd all agree that if you're a highly talented rider, you're going to get through the woods, in most cases faster, on a gravel bike if you're capable. Are we going to get to the point we're going to be building something which are really high-end gravel bike, not off-road, real light, real minimal frames, some suspension but not enough to add much weight? And will there be a convergence of mountain biking and gravel, but then what is now becoming all-road, which seems to be drop bar hybrid? It's all interesting. It's so fun to follow the technology, watch the new model years, watch the manufacturers, and looking forward to your feedback and discussion on where we're going to be back. What's it going to be for you? All-road, gravel bike, full mountain bike, What's your opinion on what's coming next?